Hi. If you're probably watching this video right now, it means you've met that famous void. You know, that unsettling feeling where from the outside, everything seems fine, but somewhere inside, nothing is really in its place. Maybe this morning, on your way to work or school, you were looking out the bus window, saw your own reflection in the foggy glass, and for a brief moment forgot who you were. Or maybe while eating dinner, you simply put the fork down on the table and muted the television, because that noise was no longer enough to cover the silence inside you. Suddenly, everything started to feel very foreign, didn't it? Why am I doing this? What is it all for? Life suddenly began to look meaningless and aimless, like an old photograph drained of its color. I know this feeling very well. Not only you, but me and millions of people feel it while staring at the ceiling in the middle of the night. Look, let me tell you a secret. You are not broken or wrong for feeling this right now. In fact, this is your mind's way of telling you something isn't right. Today, I'm not going to talk to you like a teacher or a personal development expert, because no one has a magic wand. I just want to talk to you as a friend who has fallen into the same void many times, who has sat at the bottom of that dark well and looked up at the star above. Today, with you, I want to talk about why that thing we call meaning slips through our fingers like sand, how the modern world has turned us into strangers to our own lives, and how we can learn to live with this void, not by fighting it, but by making peace with it. This video will not hand you the purpose of your life written on a piece of paper, but it will help you understand why you feel this way. Because believe me, sometimes understanding something is far more valuable than trying to fix it in a hurry. If you're ready, let's go a little deeper. Let's stop for a moment and think. Why wasn't everything this complicated in the past? Remember or read about the times of our grandfathers and grandmothers. They didn't really have much time to ask enormous questions like, what is the meaning of life? Their lives followed a certain rhythm: survive, start a family, cultivate the land, belong to a community. That was enough for them, because there was a big story that everyone could safely settle into. Religions, traditions, neighborhood culture, family ties, all of them gave you an identity. You knew who you were, what you were supposed to do, and where you belonged. Life was like a ready-made outfit. You put it on and lived. Maybe it was tight, but at least you weren't naked. But then something changed. The world grew, digitalized at an enormous speed, and we broke away from those safe, big stories. Modern humans stopped being a piece of a big puzzle and became a solitary island. Now we have more freedom than at any other time in history, but this freedom came with a poisonous side effect: an infinite loneliness. You may have heard of the existentialist philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre. With his famous sentence, he said, "Man is condemned to be free." When you first hear it, it sounds very cool, very hopeful, doesn't it? They tell us you can be anything you want to be. But what Sartre actually meant was a much darker truth. If your life is going to have meaning, you have to create it yourself, carving it out with your own fingernails. All that weight on your shoulders, that obligation to create meaning, is now entirely yours. There is no star above to guide you, no net below to catch you. When you do something wrong, you can't blame fate or tradition. The responsibility is only yours. That feeling of meaninglessness is actually the feeling of being lost in this endless sea of options. And then there's this success thing that's imposed on us. From the moment we're born, we're thrown into a race. We're constantly told that we need to be something. Be a successful student, get into a good university, land a high-paying job, get married, have kids, get promoted, move into a bigger house. A kind of happiness checklist. What we were promised was this: if you check the boxes on this list, that void inside you will be filled. But do you know what happens? You check the items one by one. You get that promotion you wanted so badly, the numbers in your bank account grow, you put the newest phone in your pocket. And when you come home that evening and close the door, you see that the void is still there, waiting for you in the middle of the room. Sometimes it even grows larger when you have everything. Because we were born into a world that focuses on having instead of being. Picture a hamster wheel. That little animal runs with all its might. It gets very tired, its heart pounds, it sweats. From the outside, it looks like it's making an incredible effort, but at the end of the day, it's still in the same place inside the wheel. This is exactly what modern life is like. We're constantly focused on the next moment, the next goal. I'll be happy when the weekend comes. I'll rest when summer vacation comes. I'll find peace when I retire. While constantly chasing happiness somewhere in the future, we turn the only real moment, the now, into a meaningless waiting room. If life feels meaningless to you, maybe the fault isn't yours. Maybe the definition of success and meaning that this system imposes on you is simply too narrow for your soul. Your soul is drowning in these shallow waters. Let's pause here for a second and be truly honest. When was the last time you genuinely felt there? A moment when your phone wasn't in your pocket, when tomorrow's to-do list wasn't spinning in your mind, when you were simply inside that moment. Do you remember? Today, many of us have become spectators of our own lives rather than the lead actors. We experience moments instead of thinking about how to record them. We go to a concert, instead of feeling the music with our hearts, we record it through a phone screen. We stand in front of a magnificent view, instead of feeling the wind on our skin, we think, which filter will look better? But did you really see that view? Or did you just want others to know that you saw it? This outward-focused way of living blinds us to our inner world. This alienation is the greatest enemy of meaning. As you become alienated from your own feelings, your own body, even your own silence, life starts to feel like a simulation. It's as if you're watching a movie. Scenes pass, characters talk, but the movie is very boring. And the worst part is, even though you're the main character, you can't interfere with the script. That feeling of meaninglessness is actually your soul's silent scream to you. Hey, I'm here, and my connection with you is broken. Please come back. So what are we going to do now? How are we going to deal with this void? I made you a promise at the beginning of the video. I won't tell you motivational fairy tales on pink clouds. Life is sometimes truly meaningless. And you know what? This is not a disaster. It's just a fact. In this vast universe, among billions of galaxies, we live on a planet as small as a speck of dust. Sometimes it makes perfect sense, not just in your imagination, but even mathematically, that nothing really matters. But look, the other side of this coin is much liberating. If nothing has enormous importance on a universal scale, then your mistakes, your imperfections, and what others think about you don't really matter either. Meaninglessness, in its purest form, is actually a kind of freedom. When you set aside that pressure of "I have to save the world" or "I must achieve a success that impresses everyone," only you remain. And then you might notice how valuable the warmth of that first sip of coffee in the morning, the strange dance of a leaf swaying in the wind, or that deep and ridiculous conversation with a friend really is. Meaning is not a continent somewhere far away waiting to be discovered. Meaning is the small, modest islands that you build for yourself right now, this second, in the very middle of this void. Maybe life as a whole has no meaning, but this morning, this minute, can have meaning for you. And that is enough. My friend, if today you feel yourself in that deep void, don't try to escape from it immediately. Don't turn the lights on right away. Sit in that darkness for a while. Get to know it. Ask why it's there, what it's trying to tell you. But never forget this. You are not that void. You are someone deep enough to notice it, brave enough to question it. The feeling of meaninglessness is not an ending. Maybe it's just the farewell of an old version of you that no longer fits. Space is being made for a new beginning, a new way of asking questions. If you've watched this video all the way to the end, your soul was probably trying to breathe a little. If today you felt that you're not alone, that somewhere there are others asking the same questions as you can let me feel that by liking the video or leaving that quiet comment. I truly wonder your story. When and where did meaning get lost for you? Let's meet down below, in that void. If you want to ask more questions on this existential journey, to walk together through those silent rooms even if we don't find answers, you can subscribe to Why Me?